So we can just pray. Let's bow. Lord, we want to thank you for the gift of life that you've given each and every one of us that has been able to make it to this seminar. We want to thank you for the team that has organized this, and even the Coop Bank and all those families that are represented here. And we do pray that may the presentation be of benefit to each and every one of us. May it make a difference. And most importantly, may you open our ears and eyes that we may also develop a listening heart as we learn more from each other and even from the presentation. This is my humble prayer in Jesus' name.
Amen, amen. And thank you so much, George, for that prayer. And team, let's just type amen and appreciate George for starting the session for us with a word of prayer. Thank you so much, George. We wish you well in your business. Yes, team, yes, we are typing amen, and we also appreciating George for that prayer. I think that's how we do it here. We always appreciate our speakers because we really value everybody who is in this session. And thank you so much. I see a lot of amens. This is to say that we have officially started the session today, and today we have said that we are talking matters finances in our businesses. What are those things that we need to start watching out to so that we can continue to learn? And as I said, we are talking about economy. Last week, we had a session on economic outlook for this country and what we expect to see in business. And I think we will continue with this discussion because a number of us are saying, yes, the economy is not doing well, but we are also asking ourselves, what do we need to start doing? What do we need to do differently in our businesses so that we are able to have cash flows in our businesses, we're able to have good finances in our business. And that's why, as we have started this year's sessions, we have said we'll have a few sessions that we'll be talking about finances, and we'll be talking about finance management, even as we go to other critical topics for businesses in this particular year. And so it just needed to say that for the agenda for the day, I'll just give a small brief welcome note, and also welcome one of our speakers who I'll be introducing to you later. And after his presentation, we'll be doing the question and answer session, have the call to action, and we are going to wrap up the session after the presentation. So just want to say karibuni sana to this session. For those who will be joining for the very first time, is just to that we do this every Thursday as a bank. Business enterprise, manage your business and manage it very well. And so that is why we are here. This forms part of the Coop Bank Non-Financial Services Program that is supposed to help us to grow in our businesses through the trainings, through the networking opportunities. We have the networking forums. We do organize international business trips. We do these webinars every Thursday. We have what we call the MSME clinics in our branches that are organized by the help of our branch managers and our relationship managers. And we also have these recordings in our MSME online portal. And very shortly, I'll be sharing with us a link that you can always be joining just to get some of the materials and some of the tips and information that will be useful for you in business. And so, karibuni sana. Again, feel at home. Let's engage. Let's use the chat box down there to comment and also to ask questions, to give us feedback. And we are here to make sure that we'll be responding to you. So I think, as I indicated, our key speaker today is a gentleman that I have known for some time now. He's been in the bank for long, and he'll be telling us how long. To qualify him even to stand here and just share some of the tips and some of the experiences that he has had with business people, and to share the tips that will be useful to us on matters finances and managing finances. And I think his name is Anthony Kenyua. He's the head of SME Banking, Coop Bank, and he'll be here to share with us the insights and the tips that we are really looking forward to. And so, team, I think I just want to pause for a minute and ask us to welcome him with claps, with the emojis down there, just to let him feel at home. Anthony is our colleague, and he's been here for long. He'll be telling us for how long and what are some of the things that he feels will be useful today to the business people. Let's give him a clap, a good clap. Yes, Anthony. I hope you can see the claps. The entrepreneurs here and the participants here are looking forward for your insights that we believe will be useful to them as they do business. So, Anthony, if you can hear me, you can come on camera and share with us the critical tips that you have for us today. Yes, Anthony, I see you. I can see you. Anthony. You can proceed and say hi to the participants here.
Thank you so much, Peter. I don't know whether you can hear me.
Anthony, I can hear you loud and clear, and I can see you are looking very, very sharp today. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Peter, for organizing this, but more so, I want to really welcome each and every one of us for this session, our customers who have left a bit of a busy schedule to join us. I promise you it will be worth the time. I'll be your pilot for the next, let's say, one hour or so. And I believe that I'm going to impact some of the business financial management within our businesses. As Peter has alluded, I've been working with SME in the bank. Peter has insisted I say for how long. Peter, I'll be celebrating my 19th year this year in the bank working with SME, and I'm happy.
Let's appreciate Anthony for that. I think the 19 years is not a mean feat. I think we thank God for that.
Thank you. Our dear customers, again, thank you for joining us. And I want to go straight to the point, to the discussion of the day. And we're asking ourselves, why should you manage your business finance? Because finance is everything in your business. If you don't manage it well, you're saying neglecting business finance management as an individual, as an entrepreneur, will definitely lead to reduced cash flows and profitability of the business. So when you are able to manage your business finances, then you're able to make better business decisions for sustainability. You all agree with me that opening a business is one thing. Sustaining that business is the critical success of any business. So in my today's session, I'll look at how do we manage business finance? What do you need to do? What are the critical factors that we need to consider for you to say, yes, I'm practicing effective business finance in my business? But before then, let me just engage you in 1 minute in a chat, and you can feel free. Currently, how do you practice financial management in your business? Do you face any challenges in terms of business financial management? It's just a question just to start us off, so that as I get into the discussion, then we'll be able to iron out some of these challenges. Feel free to type. And the question I'm asking is, how do you currently practice financial management in your business? You can also maybe just type, what challenge do you face in your business? And Peter, I'll request you to read 1 or 2 what has been typed on your end, Peter.
Yes, Anthony, and feel free to share your presentation, to share the presentation from your end. Yes, as we wait for the customers here to tell us how they are managing their finances and the challenges that they are possibly facing. Yes. I'm still waiting for the participants to share with us how they are doing, what they are doing. I think a number of them had already indicated they are doing record keeping. I saw Dr. Irungu say that he's been doing record keeping. Yes. Oh, great. I see another person here, Charles Macau, saying cash projections and recording revenues and expenses. Thank you. That is great
Excellent.
from Charles Macau. We can continue to chat. We can continue to chat. I think we're interested to see what we are doing to manage our finances. Yes, and the challenges that we are facing. I see Enoch talk about managing taxes. Aromax is saying keeping records of payments and reducing cash transactions.
Excellent, Peter. And I hope you can see my screen now.
Not yet, Anthony.
Not yet. Let me just take another.
Yes, as you do that, I see Collins is saying how to manage funds, restocking, and finance to boost business. Yes, issues around refinancing. Murithi Ngari is talking about access to credit and credit costs. You've possibly been looking at your costs. Excellent, excellent. Yes. Yes, Anthony, I can see your slides now. You want to take us to your maybe the 9th slides. Yes. So
Okay.
I see John working on it, CRM. I see Ernest Muguero saying recording cash. Mercy keeping record of all business transactions. Yes, I think I see a lot of comments here, Anthony. I think you can pick those ones as a sample and you can proceed. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. And it's good to also have a feeling that we are also very cautious on our business financial management. So let me go straight to and start off us off in this discussion. What are the key elements of financial management? What do we need to look at? And I'll be taking us through the 5 main things that we need to consider for us to say that you are actually nailing it in financial management. As we have already said, for you to succeed, for you to sustain your business, financial management is everything. And I'll look at 5 main things. One is the record keeping, managing cost, managing cash flow, budgeting, and accessing finance. How do you do this? And these are the 5 critical elements of financial management. And I'll take some few time on each and every of these elements to just enlighten us on how we do it. And I'll start with what we call the record keeping as our element number 1. If you have paper and a pen, just write this down. And as I start off, I like what one of the major consultant and author said. His name is Peter Odeng. Inadequate records will deny you information that could be critical to your business future. And let me repeat that. Inadequate records will deny you information that could be critical to your business future. What our consultant is telling you is the success of your business would be determined by the decisions and the information that you have kept for your business. So record keeping is extremely important in any of the business. For you, and I like saying this to MSMEs, the era of us making emotional decisions now is long gone. That any decision that you make in your business has to be data-driven. You have looked at your records, you have observed what is going on, then you're able to determine what do I need to do now, what do I need to do in the medium term, and what do you need to do as a long term. So the accounting cycle for any business, for you to be able to be a better manager in your business, to have those good financial management, you have to understand this cycle. And how does the accounting cycle go? It starts with a record keeping. Then it goes to what you call a trial balance, that you are able to deduce from your record just your ledgers, your debit and credit, and you have that understanding. Then you're able to progress and say, if I'm trying to assess my business profitability, my business sale, my business balance sheet, and 1 year has not elapsed, then we engage, and I'll be speaking to more on what is the role of an accountant in our business. You'll be able to prepare what you call some management accounts. And management accounts are prepared when you have not gone a full cycle of 1 year, and you just want to get a feeling of how is my business faring. And once you go a full year then cycle, you go to what we call audited accounts. Here you bring in an accountant, a professional who will be able to give you the financial position of your business. And the accountant will give you 2 reports, what we call audited and qualified report, or audited qualified report. And these will give you a sense of what is my net worth, what is my balance sheet looking like. And it will also give you what is my profit, what is my gross profit, what are my sales forecast and trajectory for my business. So an audited account comes to wrap up on all the activities that you have done in your business for a whole year. And you, those of us who have approached the bank for financing, and especially for some loans that are 5 million and above ticket, you hear most of the bank or most of the financials asking for either the management accounts or the audited books. Why? Because it helps the banks to understand the progress, how your business is progressing. As an entrepreneur, then, what are the main financial records that you need to keep? And I want us to take note. What should you on day-to-day basis have record of? And if you're not doing this within your business, then please start doing it. Any entrepreneur out there, any MSME out there, you need to keep your sales record. This is very critical, because then you're able to know how you are progressing. Are you, I keep on challenging, and we have this exciting discussion with Peter from a bank perspective. I'm in charge of ensuring that we book in more accounts and more loans. So what we do on daily basis, whatever account I opened yesterday, if I opened 4 accounts yesterday, then today morning, I try and strategize, how do I open 8? How then tomorrow do I, the day after tomorrow, open 16? So it's good to track your sales, so that if you sold 200,000 yesterday, the question for a business person is then, how do I double my sales? How do I on every day? So it's very critical for you to maintain your sales record, your purchases record, so that you're able to even compare different suppliers. What cost are you incurring? Again, any expense that you spend on your business, please document it. I keep on insisting this. We open up shop, yes. Your brother, your sister visits, you just go to the cash box, then you just chuck the money and give out. You need to track each and every cost and expenses that you are spending, because I'll show you in budgeting what the meaning of budgeting and what it entails in our business. But for now, you're saying as a part of the record, you need to track down your expenses. Tracking down expenses, as you'll see in my subsequent slide, will help you make better decisions. Sometimes you need to say, are my expenses more than my income? Or am I managing my expenses well? Sometimes expenses will come in to eat into or erode our profit. Capital, how much have you invested in business? It's good to keep record of this, so that you know whatever capital you have invested, is it giving you fruits or the value? Bankings. Now I'm happy that you're able to get an e-statement from the bank, an e-statement from M-Pesa. These are critical records for reference that you need to keep in. Petty cash is another financial record that you need to ensure that you document in and out movement of any cash. Credit transaction that gives you money, the debtors, the creditors, these are very critical. The debtors record, very crucial. And those who have interacted with CoBank at our branches. I know there's this common question from our branch managers or your relationship manager. What is your debtors level? Why? Because sometimes we have found ourselves, you're doing a lot of purchases and you're doing a lot of sales, but you're doing sales in credit. So you end up draining, using your own money to do the purchases. Then you give a credit period, you're not collecting your debt, and then you are left with a cash or what you call a liquidity crunch within your business. So it's good to maintain this data so that you're able to age your debtors, to say that for the ones that have given 7 days, you have a list. 30 days, 60. If someone transitions from 30, maybe you have given 30 days and he has gone to 60 days, then you need to have a better conversation. Is that the time that you need in to have people to collect debts instead of running to or coming into a financial, so debtors record, creditors records, these are critical financial records that we need to keep. Stocks, because you'll be able to know when, I call it, when do you order new stock? When do you release? I mean, you can maintain what you call a proper reorder level. And then finally, and this is a good one, is the KRA records. This you need to maintain. As I keep on saying, I know I've done a lot of sessions on this to say it is more expensive for you to be non-compliant with KRA. It's expensive. So it's good to maintain your KRA records so that it becomes easier for you even to access loans, access services, and also be compliant with our regulator. So these are some of 8, 9 financial record. Each and every one of us should have a file, whether in soft or in hard copy, tracking. And as we progress, we will, I'll tell you, I'll be able to expound more on why do we need to keep this. And you're saying, keep it in a safe place, regular filing of all supporting documents, and where possible, make copies as the owner of the business. Number 2, we are saying, as you do this, then you all agree that whatever I've mentioned here, and we might not be an expert in tracking sales, in tracking all this, but you're saying in any business, then we need someone. If you are not doing it as the entrepreneur, then we need to have someone who is responsible, because the record keeping is a daily thing. It's not a quarterly thing, it's a daily thing, so that then you're able to assess on a quarterly basis. So in most of the cases I've seen us having what we call the accountant. It's safe, I will say it here. If you're not able to do it, get someone else to do it. An accountant can be someone who is hired. An accountant can be your son. An accountant can be someone you have interviewed. And I just want to focus for now and ask a question. How many of you, feel free to type in the chat, how many of you have an accountant? And possibly, how did you get him or her? And do you feel that he or she supports you? Just make a comment in the chat, because in the next 2 or 3 slides, I will expound more on what is the role of accountant. Is there a need to? Where do we get these accountants? What is their role? And before I do that, maybe let me get a feeling, and Peter, feel free again to read the comments. How many of us, if you have an accountant, just say, yes, I have. Do you feel that they support you? Or do you feel that it's relevant for you to have them? And Peter, you can read 1 or 2 comments.
Through Anthony, just pausing for a minute to see our customers type. Who has an accountant, and possibly what do they support us with? Yes, Rachel is saying, yes, I do. I don't have. She doesn't have.
Yeah.
Thank you for owning up. Radiak is saying, I have one. Part-time, certainly very useful. Thank you. Thank you. Abel, I don't have one. John Moniki, yes, I have one, and it's very helpful in my monthly annual returns. Just part, I don't have one. Mark, I don't have one. Anthony Nyongeza is saying, myself, I'm an accountant, and you're also a business person. Thank you for that. Who is this? Martin, I have registered bookkeeper for SMEs, but I also struggle with, to keep up to date with my records. Thank you, Martin. A lot of comments here. Anthony are coming. Amina is saying, I don't have, but Patrick, I don't have one. Okay, I'm the accountant in my business. This is Margaret. A number of them are saying they have, others they don't have. I think those are basic. This is who Mercy Machari is saying, I don't have an official accountant, but I'm an accountant. I'm an accountant, so it's in order for me to double up as a business owner and accountant. Awesome comment, Mercy, there, and I think that is quite okay. Over back to you, Anthony, to proceed. There are quite a lot of comments, and I think this is good.
Excellent. And I liked, I did a quick sample. Out of 10, we are having 1 with an accountant, and it's really exciting. And before we finish, we have made a decision. Do we need to have an accountant? Remember what I said, that record keeping is a daily thing. It can be a monthly thing, but you need to know how you're faring. For those of us who have said, I do not have an accountant, that's okay, but I'll tell you, how do you find a good accountant? I'll give you some tips. 4 tips. Number 1, referrals, and forums like these ones are very useful. I like the one who said, I have one, and it's very useful. Pick up the comment from the chat, reach out and ask for referrals. Accountants are good. For those who are accountant, then you are at a better position. But again, I always insist, sometimes you can overlook some of the things. It's always good to have someone else to come and just have a view of your business. I look at it even in the doctor, in the health profession. I'm told a doctor will always consult another doctor when he's sick. So it's also good for us, again, if you're an accountant, get a view of the other person, another accountant, to just come and assess your business. But for those who don't have, look out for your friends and ask for referrals. Do you know of a good account? Do you have an accountant? How do you find him useful? How long have you been with that accountant? And ask for referrals. Number 2, you can do interviews. For you to have an accountant, to be an accountant, there are certain courses in CPA professional. There are certain degree in accountings that are done. Just put up an advert and interview, and I'll enlighten you in my slides what's their role, so that as you put in that JD, or what you call a job description, you have an idea. Number 3, what I've also seen working very well, as you start, it's not a must you go full throttle, that tomorrow you want to have one. You can have a probation period. And a probation period is an assessment period. You bring in someone who will be doing your returns and doing graphical representation or progress of how your business. You can actually contract them even for 6 months and say, for the next 6 months, I want you to track my expenses, my sales, my purchases. And at the end of 6 months, let's sit down and give me where I need to cut costs, where I need to increase on the volume. So you can also engage someone on probationary period, which is good. And you check the quality of work and the performance. You can also engage on an assigned specific task, like track down my expenses, my cost for the next 3 months, or even go retrogressively. Here are the records, go back and tell me what forms highest percentage of my cost in my business, and how can I reduce on cost or expenses. And you give them a probation period to do this. Again, you can also have a formal contract with clear terms of engagement, that you're saying, I'm giving you this for 1 year. And at the end of it, I want to know what profit am I making? How much am I paying to KRA? What do I need to reduce costs? I've seen us, and let me say it here, I've seen us engaging accountants only to file KRA returns. As a business person, you need to know how you are progressing in your business. It is very critical. Don't pay that 5,000 or 6,000 just for someone to go and do and file your returns. Have a sitting and provide the records. I showed you the 7 critical financial records that you need to forward to an accountant. Then have a sitting. Get a 360 view of how you are faring in business. And more so, what I say at the end of any discussion, what are the insights that the accountant can sit with you and give you for your business? And lastly, you can have someone on part-time. For us who are putting up structures, you are starting off, you haven't expanded more, you haven't started opening branches, you can have someone who is initially on part-time basis. So you can use all the tactics to get a good accountant. And when you get an accountant, just in a nutshell, what do? An accountant will fully, or is expected to fully organize your records. I've talked about sales records. I've talked about what? I've talked about purchases records. I've talked about your expenses. They need to organize weekly, monthly, daily, so that you are able to give you a trend on how you are faring. They will also be able to create financial statements, what we call a balance sheet. Balance sheet that will show you the assets you have, both what you call fixed asset, the current asset, the current liabilities. They're able to do a balance sheet for you. And they're also able to do what you call a profit and loss. What gross profit are you making? What net profit are you making? A gross profit is you're selling, you're making profit. Yes. But what is the net? What is coming to your pocket? They're able to give you. And the beauty with this is that you're able to get a trend, yearly trade, quarterly trade, so that you know, do I need to expand? Do I need to reduce the number of branches? Do I need to increase sales? And they're also able to do what you call a cash flow statement, or your cash in and your cash out. And they're able to say your inflow versus your outflow. What is the net impact? Sometimes you find your inflow are less than your outflow. You need to continue. Most of us here, and I'm sure you're not only dealing with one commodity, you're dealing with an array of commodity, or you have many branches. Which branch is making money? Which one is not making? Which product is making money? They're able to give you all the inflows and the outflows. Again, they're able to do bank reconciliations. You buy a good, you sell, you're paid at a later date. You need to make purchases. They are able to reconcile and give you the liquidity position of your business. They're also supposed to do, and this, I'll take a minute on preparation of forecast. It's always good to look ahead. Records will show what has happened in the past, but it's also good, based on the past happening, to forecast what is coming in future. So this will be critical, and this is better done by an accountant. And I'll show you some of the things to consider. The dollar rate, the increasing interest rate, and it's good to know if I go on with the current sales trend and the interest or the dollar continues to rise, what will my sales look like in the next 1 year? Because business success is determined by you being able to sustain the cash flows. The bank liaison, I like it when I see customers coming to the bank and saying, I've noticed the ledger fees, for instance, or some costs, there are some unexplained costs. Please explain to us what these costs are. Because they're able to track and tell you, here there is a cost that was passed, here there was a check that was charged and it was not supposed to charge. So they're able to liaise even with our branch managers, our relationship managers, and you're able to get explanation. And again, audit and tax. And I know I've talked about tax a lot today, and I say it's good to be tax compliant, because evading can be extremely expensive. And the person who will help you navigate through that will be an accountant. What is the benefit? I liked what one of us said. I have an accountant and he's useful or she is useful, because the benefit of having an accountant or someone who will be dealing with record keeping on day-to-day basis is you have up-to-date records and audit. There are no, if you don't file your returns, there are penalties. So these penalties are expensive, and the accountant in the job JD or job description, one of the things that you need to tell or assign is ensure monthly returns are filed in time. Or some of the things I've seen where you get a credit period, then if you extend or a debit period, you get penalties. So they help you avoid all those penalties. They also give you clarity. I like this. Clarity on business performance year on year on. And these keep on saying because business is growing every day. You're looking into opportunities every day. You don't need to make rash decision. You need to make strategic decision even for your expansion. How do you do this? You have to make data-driven decisions. And who provide this data? It is the accountant or the person that you have assigned to do this on a daily basis. Number 2 aspect, critical element, managing cost. Again, I'll start it off. I'll just start it off with a question. What are the main costs in your business? Each and every one of us here has a business. What do you consider as the main costs in your business? And feel free to type in. And you can also maybe throw in a word. How do you manage your cost? And again, Peter, I want you to come up again and read out some of the comments. I want to make it as interactive. And you're saying, what are the main costs? The question is, what are the main costs in your business? You can list 1 or 2. And how do you manage them? Peter, you can read 1 or 2. Then I'll dive into the discussion on how do we manage these costs in our business.
Yes, thank you, Anthony. And I see Dennis Radiak has already commented, I think, on the previous conversation around KRA and taxation. He's saying, oh yes, KRA penalties. I've been through that. I see a number of us are now commenting on the costs and the major costs that they have. Yes, there's wages and commissions. This is from George. Kevin, rent. Abel, rent, salary of employees. Peter saying wages and taxes. Emmanuel is saying business service production costs. Just Pat Ombuage is saying repairs and maintenance, wages and commissions. Purity is talking about rent. Amina is talking about wages, licenses and purchases. Yes. Jacqueline is talking about salaries, utilities, taxes, commissions.
Excellent.
Yes, quite a number of them. Anthony will just sample those and then we get up from there.
Thank you. Thank you. And thank you for those comments. What I'll say is if you are not tracking your costs, you are committing what we call an entrepreneurial suicide. Costs are key in your business. And I want to take us through on how do we manage costs. Number 1, what I said, costs erode profitability. You can be profitable, but if you don't manage your costs, then it's what I call entrepreneurial suicide. Because if you're able to manage your costs very well, then you increase on your profitability. Let me repeat that. If you manage your cost well, reduce your cost well, you increase the window of your profitability in your business. How do you manage costs and expenses in your business? I'll say this, I'll repeat, monitor. You monitor them weekly, daily, monthly. Once you monitor, keep records, track. What cost did we are in week 3 of 2024. What were our costs in week 1? Week 2, if there are variations in the cost that you have incurred, what brought in the cost? Track. The third is analyze. Get some insights, info on why your costs are reducing or increasing. If they are reducing, do more of what you are doing as an initiative. If they are increasing, have a meeting and try to manage your cost. Ask why. Why are my costs going up? Why are my costs going down? Get the underlying reasons. Fix them. If you need to source from a different supplier, let it be. You make decision based on the data that you have gotten. Decide and take action. If your costs are rising, take a decision. Don't make it an incremental, don't ignore. And again, lastly, involve your team. If you're working with your team, sometimes, and I'll say this, it's risky. We are SMEs. An SME is the owner of the business. He's the marketing manager. He's the HR. He's the accountant. He's the auditor. If you are one-man show, please work with the team and listen to the people. There is someone you leave at your business every day as you run your errands. Take a moment and ask, how was the business today? What cost? How much do we make as sales? What item moved? What is giving us more margin? What do I need? Let's take time as SMEs to involve the team that works under us or for us. It's critical. You cannot be there 24/7, but there are people you leave. How often do you involve that cashier, that sales rep, a person who is even doing, they'll give you competitor analysis. They'll tell you, shop Y, which is in another branch, or they're doing this. Involve your team to make the best decision. Number 3, going to number 3 element of managing cash flow. What he said is that cash is the king. And for sure, if you have cash, you feel like a king. If you have cash in the business, if it's doing very well, internally, in our hearts, you feel like a king or a queen. When it's not there, you scratch your head. Cash is the king. And I want to pause there and ask, what cash flow challenges do you face in your business? I'm sure most of us will resonate. Not every day is a smiling day. So what cash flow challenges do you face in your business? Please type, let me see. How do you handle them? You come to the bank. Do you call your brother and say, I need some more money, some more capital? Please type in, let me hear, let me stop preempting. What cash flow challenge do you face in your business? Every day is not a smiling day. How do you handle them? Peter, read them for me, 2 or 3.
Just pausing for a minute to get to see the comments. I see a number of us are asking about the recording. I'll show you how you'll be getting these recordings after the sessions. Yes, retracing goods moving very slowly and you're left without cash to do other things. That is one of the challenge. Aromax Ventures is saying customers not paying in due time. Agnes is saying debt management is an issue. Joseph is saying accessing credit. Peter on receivables. I think, Anthony, those are the samples that we have. You can take it up from there. Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you. Managing cash is not easy. And I'll show you what actions do we need to do. What actions do you need to do as an SME as an entrepreneur to ensure in a month, 29 days or 30 days, at least you keep a smile in your face by ensuring that you have the cash flow to run the business. Cash is the liquid. This is the engine of the business, the cash flow. And how do you boost your cash flow? There are 4 things I'll take us through. How do you ensure that you are not in a liquidity crunch? How do you ensure that, you can run and sustain the business? In my opening statement, I said, opening a business is one thing. Sustaining a business is the success. And sustenance then comes with you having the available resources. And the available resources in this case is the cash, because that's the king or queen of the business. Number 1, control your spending. How do you do this? Plan, prioritize, and schedule. Most cases, we handle things as they come. But I'll ask us, are you able to plan, prioritize that you need to do 10 things for your business in the month of January, in the month of February, but list them down, prioritize, and break them down into 3: short term, medium term, and long term. Let me repeat that. Control your spending by planning. Prioritize. You have 10 things. Arrange, prioritize them, and put them in a bucket and say, these are the short term I need to do by this time. These are the medium term. I'll do them after 3 months. These are the long term. I'll be going to Anthony for refinancing, for expansion, or I'll be expanding in the 4th quarter, and schedule them. I'll take you through an exciting topic called budgeting, and you appreciate that point. Number 2, how do you boost your cash flow? Increase your sales. The more sales you make, and reduce your spending and control your spending, the better cash flow you have in the business. And how do you increase your sales? Look for new markets. You have to listen. You have to involve your team. You have to read. You have to travel. Peter talked about business trip. You have to travel and benchmark for you to get higher volumes. And number 3, increase prices. But here I'm saying cautiously. Keep in mind competition and price elasticity of demand. Look around, shop around, engage as many suppliers as possible, negotiate and get the best price, and then increase your prices in a strategic way. If you're moving from 800 to 1,000, why not move from 800 to 999? Be strategic. Do your research, listen, involve your team. And number 4, encourage cash and early payment. I want to say this. You get goods, you spend your money, your cash. Then you give the same goods on credit. Or you have bought, you have done your purchases in cash, but you're letting someone come and take the same goods in credit. You give a long debt period. You keep on doing that and you're not collecting your cash, you'll be in trouble. Come up with incentive. I like what I saw in one of the schools. Just to share that if you pay school fees before the opening of the school, you get 1% or 2% discount on the fees. You pay within the first week of opening, you get X discount. Be innovative. Encourage cash. Say you buy 2. I think I know Peter this last year, but when we took customers in one of the business trips, and one of our customers was being told, you buy One container, you get X price. You buy 2, the third one, you get at a half price. Be innovative. But the moment, the end goal here is you're encouraging people to give you cash. If you're buying cement in cash, if you're paying cash, it's 560. If I'm giving you on credit, it's 570. And you have to pay me within a certain period. If you have to do some penalties, you'll be better off. Those are some of the actions that you do to ensure that you have liquid cash. You have the king or queen in your business, as that is cash. What else do you do? Avoid credit sales. And you have to give credit sales, relook at your pricing, relook at your period. There's what in banking we call CCC. This is what we say cash conversion cycle. How long do you take to convert your purchases into cash? CCC, cash conversion cycle. Anything that you have purchased, how long do you take to convert it into cash? The longer you take, the longer you are sinking your business. And if you have to take long, then it has to come with an added price. My advice, invoice in time. You have supplied. Let this be done concurrently. Don't import. Don't do an importation of you're in a car business, you're a car dealer, you're importing car, a customer comes, just pays a deposit. You are not invoicing, you are taking 1 month to invoice, 2 months. Let this run concurrently. Follow up debts consistently and in time. Debt management is crucial. You have given someone goods on credit, they haven't honored, follow through. Practice cash flow planning, and I'll show you how. Those are the things that will help you have cash in your business. How do you practice that? Have a detailed cash flow planning with current inflows and outflows taken into account. An accountant will be able to do this, but I'll also be able to share just a simple one and a template here for you. You can practice. It will help you know whether the expected cash will cover upcoming payments. Most of us sometimes, and I'm talking reality, will have problems with our banks because you issued a check, but the expected cash or the cash you have is not covering for the check payment. You need to know, I'm issuing 1, 2, 3, 4 checks, but I have the following upcoming payments that will cover. Cash flow planning. This will help you do that. Make sure as you do that, in and outflows, budget for the in and outflows that you are sure about before you do that check. Before you make that commitment, be sure before you order for that good, you know where you're getting the payment. Again, I cannot re-emphasize this. Plan and prioritize. And I'll give you just a simple, did this with Peter, a sample cash flow plan template. Start with your inflows, opening balance on what you brought from December. Have an inflow list for January, February, and March, and have a total. Get all your total inflows, your outflows, get all the total. And this can be done in the month of March, but being done on daily or weekly basis. Then do your inflow less your outflow. Get a net. It's just simple. What am I getting? What is leaving? Track this weekly, monthly, in 3 months. This is very basic, and you can try it and see. As you engage your part-time accountant, as you progress to expand, you can start small by doing this, and you can assign someone. This can be a daily thing. Lastly, budgeting. Second last, budgeting. What is budgeting? I'll use the simplest definition of budgeting. Is simply budgeting your expenses with your income. Do you have a budget? Is it written down in your mind? Does your budget balance? When Peter came up with the topic, I said, we are doing it at the right time because it's in January. Have you done your budgeting for the year? Because budgeting is a process. You create a plan on how you spend. The spending plan is the budget. You're advancing, you are planning and deciding, will I have enough money to do the things that I've planned? The things, you remember the things? I talked about the short term, the long term, the medium term, and the long term. Let me pause for a second. And do you have a budget for your business for this year? Or is it written in your mind? You deal with it as it comes. Does your budget balance? Link your budget to your plan. Have a plan of the things that you need to do for your business. Don't handle every day as it comes. Have a plan. Because it will help you when you're planning for your finances. Check. I've shown you a tentative inflow, outflow for 3 months. Review its feasibility. Is it making sense? Where do I need to adjust? You can do a plan for 1 year, and it can also be long. Even in the bank, we have a 5-year strategic plan. I'm challenging us. Don't just look back. I like when I visit customers, you're very clear on how you have come through. I started with a butchery. I expanded. I started with a retail shop. I was a mama burger. I moved on to a retail shop. I then opened up a wholesale. I now owning one of the super. You're very clear on where you have come from. But are you clear on where you are going for the next 5 years? Do a cash flow forecast. The accountant will help you. It's part of the budgeting. Start early. Do 3 months. Do 1 year. Work with accountant. They do this. Budgeting is very detailed. You don't need to get into the detail, but you need to know the total cost. What have you incurred to get where you are today? What cost do you think you will incur to reach your desired level in the next 2 years? Budgeting. So that when you know now you want to expand, you know if you're expanding, then what volume of sales do you need to increase? What cost reduction measures do you need to put in place? Please document all assumptions. Interest rates are increasing every day. The dollar, today I'm told, is at 162. Last month it was 150. Document these assumptions. Demand, supply, the cost, the pricing, electricity, the fuel is increasing every day. Document these assumptions. As you do the forecast, have these assumptions in place. But budgeting, it's very key because it helps you cover all the aspects of your business. Do several drafts. I like when I see people doing drafts. Do a draft, do a plan. If it is not in tandem with your profit and loss and cash flow that you have discussed with your accountant on part-time or full-time, on whether on assignment, do another draft till you get it. Involve your team. You are the owner of the business. You started. You might not be knowing all the angles of your business. I sit here, run SME business for the bank. But the information to do product innovation, to do changes, comes from the people on the ground. The people you live at your shop will give you, or the people running with you, running the business, will give you critical information. Monitor your actual performance against budget. It's okay. It's okay to go past your budget. The question is, what measures do you need to do? What do you need to do to reduce your costs? Data-driven discussions in your business is very key. Monitor monthly, quarterly, have discipline. Make adjustment if you're too ambitious or too easy to achieve. You are the owner of the business. You know the trajectory. You know where you want to go. You cannot do that without documenting, without a proper plan. Do your budget. Compare actual vis-a-vis what you had budgeted. Have a percentage. See year on year, am I doing poorly or am I doing well? The areas you are doing poorly, please take action and decide. Push yourself to achieve the budget. If there is a shortfall in your budget, you can source for financing. Nothing is wrong. But even when you're coming for a financing, be very specific. Don't say, Anthony, I'm your customer. I need money. How much? Is the question that I ask. Then, how did you arrive at X amount? If you can't answer that, then there's something wrong. By the time you are taking your phone for that mobile loan, for that financing, you should have a rationale of the amount you need. Budgeting helps us, even as Anthony, as a branch manager, you give you what you call the correct funding. I'm sure, and just take it easy. Have you ever approached for a financial and you're underfunded? It's not the financial that is wrong. Possibly it is you as an entrepreneur. What was your rationale? How much do you arrive at to say, I need 1 million as a loan? If you can't do that, then it's something you need to go back and sit down and do the budgeting. Accessing finance. And if you are clear, how then do you access finance? I'm sure it's an interesting topic. Sometimes it gets me into trouble. Sometimes it puts a smile on my face, but I like it. What are your experiences in looking for money for your business? I mean, just share. Did you get the money? Why? If you didn't get, why not? And what ways can you get financing? And I just want you to type, what was your experience? Remember the first loan you took? How was the experience like? Some of us never went to the bank finance way. How did you get your financing? Did you get the money? Did you approach your uncle, your dad, and say, I need this? Did you get? If you didn't, what reason did they give? Just share, as I started. Peter, over to you. Read 2 or 3 before I jump into the last part of my presentation.
Thank you, Anthony. Yes, so many comments here. With this, someone is saying accessing loans from the banks. Okay, so yes, this is Rachel. She's saying the loan from the bank. Alan, with business plan, I was able to get 100% project financing from ASACO. Yes, this is Anthony Okinda, got from trusted friends. Yes, a lot of comments people get from the bank, from friends, from family, from SACCOs. Yes, all those are my, this is Peter is saying, all those are my problems. I think those are some of the challenges that you face when you're accessing finances. Okay, Esther Maina from the bank, Manuel partners contributions. I think someone is saying that did not get support. Who is this?
Great,
Then
Peter.
is someone from Agnes Gathe saying being able to get from the bank, but paying back becomes an issue. I think those are the samples of some of the comments. Antonio, you can pick it from there and you share more light.
Thank you. And for sure, the slide, my next slide has been answered. Options for getting financing, your personal savings. Let me speak about here something small. As an entrepreneur, even as we run our business, it's good to have a saving. The business for you runs your operational cost. Have some savings. I'm encouraging, and I will say this, if you're running a business, pay yourself a salary and have a savings account. Or relook at, how do I open a separate account with Cooperative Bank and save? I'm doing these Excels. I'm able to save 10% of that on daily basis or on monthly basis. I'm encouraging SMEs to start saving for a rainy day. It's not business, checks in, out, pay, buy. No, please pay yourself a salary, or if you can't do that, open a savings account. We're rolling out an exciting product called an MSME savings account in CoBank, where you're saying you're running your business, but are you saving? Are you paying yourself a salary? So that on that rainy days when the expected payments are less than the checks you have issued, you can deliberately make a call and say, pay that check. I have some savings. You can also dispose of some of the assets, shares, land. That's okay. Friends and family, chamas, circles, these have been said. These are all sources, but I wanted to emphasize on savings. We are much caught up as SMEs on the daily operation, current account, in, out, money flows. Please ensure you have a savings account. And I'll say this again. I'll say CoBank basic business borrowing requirement, and they may vary. I'll just say, if you are accessing finance from CoBank, they're just basic things that we request for. Personal details, ensure that they are in place. Your profile, certificate of registration, PIN certificate. I know these, we have accounts for the last possibly 2 to 3 years, bank statement, details of other borrowings, and also if you're in partnership, then a partnership deed. These are some of the basic, if you're borrowing from any bank, but I'm inclined to say CoBank, will ask you for minimum documentation. If you go to some of the project financing, then we'll request for other like the BQs, just to get to know. Remember what I said, when you're coming to the bank to borrow, we'll ask how much, then how did you arrive at that figure? So it's good to have some of these basic requirements. It's good to know, and I'm just saying they may vary. But of critical importance is this slide. If you are borrowing, please, you come to the bank, I need 1 million from Peter in CoBank. Avoid diversion, especially working capital. I'm giving this from my experience. I've seen people taking working capital to invest in a long-term asset that is not giving us or giving you any inflow, and you end up crippling your business. Avoid diversion. Bank your sales consistently. I've said in this forum, the banker, the customer is just a doctor and a patient relationship. How am I able to know how you're progressing? Is through your bankings and through your records. Look out for CoBank. Bank yourself so that even when you are in dire need of that financing, we are able to advance. Even when that branch manager needs to come in through for you, is able to say, "This is a customer who banks with me." Have a collection channel. I like it. I get encouraged when I go into your business and get a 400, 200. You know, you are collecting. Avoid cash. I like saying avoid cash. Let everything come to the pass through the bank. What we have done for CoBank, and this is very unique, we are able to advance you up to 1 million on phone. This year we are going up to 2 million. Currently, you can do 1 million on phone. And how we do that, we get all your bankings and give you a limit. So ensure you have a collection solution that is terminating with CoBank, so that then my work with Peter is I'm able to run a scoring aging and give you a score, so that you don't need even to come and visit. Imagine getting 1 million on phone. You don't even need any documentation. So bank consistently, ensure you are collecting through the bank. Keep to the date of loan repayment. A debt from a bank is a serious commitment. I always advocate for put the installment a week earlier, because your payment records today will show you, will give the bank the confidence to enhance your borrowing for tomorrow. It's a partnership. Do savings, or what we call cash build-up for loan installment. If you're coming and it is an exciting solution that we have. I like the SACCO model, where you save and you can get some money. And every month you are saving. I want to encourage us. If you have a loan with the bank, please open another savings account so that you are able to put up some savings. Invoice on time. This will help you to manage your finances well. And Peter, that comes to the end of my presentation for today. Over to you.
Wow, Anthony, that is wonderful. Let's appreciate Anthony. I think those are great insights. Even before we go to the questions and answers, I think Anthony, you've really taken us through very, very good insights. A very, very critical topic on financing and managing finances. And you told us that we need to have records, we need to manage cash flows, we need to have an accountant. I think I've written a lot of notes from where I sit, even showing us how to access these finances and budgeting. And I think I can see a number of our customers are very, very appreciative of the same. I can see claps. And allow me to read a few comments and questions so that we can react to them as we come closer to the end of the session. Yes, I think Irene had asked whether we send the notes of the talk. Yes, I'll be showing you how we'll be getting these recordings and these notes. Yes, I see a number of us have really talked about that in terms of getting the recordings. Jonah is saying, I have a challenge with cash flow and business sustainability. Kindly help. I think that one has been addressed by Anthony as he gave the presentation. Janet is saying, great timely session. I have a problem of consistency in employee retention, customer retention, and budgeting. And I think Anthony have alluded to some of the insights that would help that. Abel Moko is saying that cash conversion cycle is still ringing in my head. The longer the conversion of your purchases to cash, the more your business is sinking. Anthony, if you find time, you can revisit this and expound. That is from Abel. You will possibly note it and answer. This is Robert is saying, I was listed in CLB when my business failed. Now I am employed and I have been visiting my branch for advice on how the loan can be restructured, given that now I am stable. Would you please assist or comment on that? This is from Robert. Anthony, you also mentioned something about that. Issues of restructure now that the customer is a bit more stable. John is saying, thanks for the webinar. Can one get financing to build a house? What does it entail? That is from John Kimani. You can also note that one, Anthony. Yes, someone is saying, can I have the template of the cash flow worksheet? This is from Dennis. Yes, Dennis, I think we can catch up on the same and see how we can help you again with this. Anthony, as you make maybe your comments, maybe you want to share a few insights around the questions that have been asked.
Okay. Thank you, Peter, and thank you. Always welcome. We do these webinars every Thursday, and always feel free even to type what do you want Anthony or Peter to talk about. I'm available every Thursday, and we'll have this, we'll run these all throughout the year, different topics. Please feel free. The cash conversion cycle, I've picked it. That is good. I'll come and expound on it, and possibly even you can comment on what you want us to talk about. And I'm grateful for the participation. Number two, I want to address the issue of Robert saying you are once listed. Now you have a stable. We can work on a restructure. Please visit any branch. I would also be happy to have a side chat. You can type in your number or even get to any branch and request for the business banker or what you call personal banker to do what you call a restructure. And how do you go about it? Show them the amount you are getting so that they can match with the loan repayment, so that then we work on clearing you out of CRB. And I like it because I said the loan repayment date is crucial because it determines your future borrowing with the bank. There's someone who have asked about the house. We have what we call mortgages. We can give you a mortgage in the bank. We have what you call acquisition mortgages or property purchase, where you identify a house and you're able to buy for you. And there you just put in a small deposit. We also have construction mortgage, where we just require you to have what you call a BQ, bill of quantity, and approvals, necessary approval. We are compliant. We are mandated by CBK to be compliant, ensure you have all the building plans approved. And then, of course, the audited books show us where your source of income, the audited books. Those are some of the things. And this information is available in any of our branches. Then I've also seen Peter Paris Nyawera appreciating that we do give MCOP cash loans, loans on phone, but she's requesting us to reconsider the period because it's usually short, 3 to 6 months. Paris, you are still able to access that for 12 months. Get into your branch and request your relationship manager of the business banker to give you what you call a digitally pre-qualified loan. You say, I have this limit. The period you have given me is short, is 3 or 6 months. They will give you the same limit for 12 months. Thank you. Thank you, Peter. Over to you.
Thank you, Anthony. And I can see that time is really not on our side. We will be finishing in a very, very short time, but I see a few more questions here. I'm Jonah. I have a business plus limit of up to 100,000. The branch is taking too long to update my details. What should I do? Possibly wants to comment something around whitelisting and what they need to do. Jennifer is saying, does your M-Pesa statement help when asking for a loan facility? Then I think Stephen is saying, I have been having an account with with the bank and I have an account that is supporting my business, and my limit had grown up to 200, almost to 300,000, but I think the limit went down. Maybe you want to advise Stephen on what he needs to do just to make sure that he takes back the limit to higher levels as he used to enjoy in the past. Then Alfred has also mentioned something around TEDAS and LPO financing for startups. Maybe you can say something around that. Yes, good. I think those are basic questions that possibly will be answering other participants' questions. Over to you, Anthony.
Thank you, Peter. Let me start with the one for the limit. The limit are coded based on how you are banking. So our advice, and that's what I say, consolidate your bankings to one bank, and advocating for CoBank, because we are currently giving a limit of 1 million. We have gotten an approval to go up to 2 million. We're just fixing one or two things on phone. So the more bankings you have, the higher the limit. And it's also tied to your loan repayment history. Ensure that then your records are up to date. LPO financing, what you call invoice discounting, those are available even for the new borrowers. And you just need to present, and we'll be able, at the branch level, if it's any limit below 500, the branch manager has that discretion to approve. If it's anything above 500, we're able to support on same day. Peter, I missed out on the question on M-Pesa statement. I missed out on that. Maybe you can reread it again, please.
Yes, Jennifer is asking, does your M-Pesa statement help when asking for a loan?
Excellent. Yes, it does. M-Pesa statement form part of the statement that we use to back up when you're doing what you call account turnovers, because what we do is we look at all your inflows, all your credits, whether cash credit from the bank or from M-Pesa, and that's what we use to assess and give you loan. We do consider, I can confirm. Thank you, Peter.
Anthony. And maybe in addition to that is to say, let's have the M-Pesa terminating those funds into an account held with us. It would even be easier for you to access facilities. If that money is terminating directly and you go to your branch, they should be able to support you on termination of that money to your account. It will be easier for you. It is going to help you even increase your e-credit limits. So I think those are basic questions. Anthony, I'm looking at time and I can see we are not having very, very good time management here. But I think, Joyce, I see your comments that we can chat with you later. You've shared your contacts. We'll try and engage you after the session and see how we can support you. And I see most of the questions have also been addressed during the presentation by Anthony. Maybe, Anthony, you want to take us to the call to action as we come closer to the end of the session. Yes, you ask, yes.
Yes. Yeah, thank you so much, our dear customers, for listening in. I believe it was, you have picked one or two things. My ask, visit any of our branch. We have an exciting tailor-made account for business customer, and ask for an MSME package account. If your sales are less than 10 million in 1 year, we give you bronze. If your sales are between 10 million to 100 million, we have what you call silver. Or if your sales are above 100 million to 500, ask for a gold account. It's not just a single account, it's an account that comes with added benefit and secured loan of up to 10 million, and we also pay insurance on that account. Again, as Peter has emphasized, bank with us consistently. Ensure that you are banking consistently. Everything that you are getting in your business is passing through the account with the bank. Again, maintain your close relationship with the business banker or the branch manager. This is your personal doctor. I call them, Peter, I call them business financial doctors. So maintain close relationship with them. Attend more of our webinars and suggest the topics that you want us to take you through. Even if it's taxation, sales, will get you an expert or even ourselves to take you on any teething thing that you're going through, and we'll give it justice. Attend our upcoming webinars. We have another 50, Peter tells you, over 50. Please attend and share with a friend. What I say, the most critical thing is banking is not only depositing and withdrawing. It's these other non-financial things that you continue giving you health check of your business. Then this information, this recording is in our website. Just go to HTTP MSME, just MSME Core Bank. You get this recording. You also get the material. You can also ask a question there, and I'll be able to interact with you directly. Otherwise, from me, Peter, God bless all our participants. May all your business succeed, and may God continue establishing all of us. Thank you. Over to you, Peter.
Amen. And I think, Anthony, you have prayed for us. We will not say another prayer. You said that God is going to establish our plans this year. Thank you so much. And we say amen to that. And I see our participants are already clapping for the session. Thank you so much. Let's continue to appreciate Anthony. I'm sure that we have been able to learn. My ask from where I also sit is to say, let's implement these learnings. Let's implement some of the insights that we've gotten. I think like today, Anthony, you've done justice to us, and we are hoping that we will have you in other sessions this year. And I see what Nelly is saying. Thanks so much for this session. It's one of the best for self-assessment and growth. And I think let's be deliberate this year, our dear customers, to learn. We need money, yes. We need finances, but we also need learnings. We need these skills. We require this information. And I can guarantee you that your business will continue to grow and even to thrive. And I think with those remarks, is just to say that we are having a very, very exciting session next week. I think we'll still be talking about money, mostly now on debt management. And I will be having a very, very great speaker who will be here with us. I will not mention the name, but look out for the next exciting session. Let's implement this. Let's grow our business. So, Anthony, if you have, you're done. You can make maybe a parting shot, and we can close the session. I don't know whether you have anything else that you left.
Let's go and decide whether you need an accountant or not. But my parting shot: ensure all your business decisions are data-driven. Let me repeat that, Peter. Ensure all the decisions that you're making for your business are data-driven. Thank you.
Thank you, Anthony. Thank you, our participants. We wish you well. May God continue to help you grow your business. Bye-bye, and let's meet next week, same time. Asanteni sana for joining the session.